Hey guys, Weekly Piano here. We're live, road right now. I'm out with Makai McCraven and some other great people are in the car with me. We've got Jeff Parker, we've got Irvin Pierce, we've got Theon Cross here who's playing with Shabaka. Which one is... we're gonna be talking about being a touring musician because I don't have a piano because we're on the road playing. We have a first question that somebody asked on the Patreon page, which is, I've been curious about this one for a long time. What do professional jazz musicians feel about the ones that are famous on YouTube now, like Jacob Collier and Cory Henry? Are their skills, music understanding, instrument playing, etc. way better than normal musicians? And also, what do you think for the reasons that make them successful or well-known from the perspective of a professional musician? So a lot of people will be hesitant to answer these questions because it's about our peers and we try to not talk about our peers too much. But I feel like I can answer that question in an honest way because I have a lot of respect for those guys. There are some people who have gotten a disproportionate amount of fame on YouTube for doing something that's very unique. The reception sucks. Okay, well, I think we're back. I just listened to one of Jacob Collier's tracks before this live stream just to make sure that I had a good, I had some sort of reference point, because I haven't listened to his music that much except for the stuff on YouTube, which he's done some incredible covers of songs that have like gone in all sorts of really cool weird harmonic directions. And the first track on his new record I listened to, and I think it's brilliant. I think that there's a lot of experience to add with a lot of the young musicians like Jacob, and so you're not going to get what you get with a Wayne Shorter or a Herbie Hancock, who have had an entire lifetime of experience playing with the greats. Like, for example, Herbie's experience with Miles, shaping what we, I think Makai might have a comment on this. Makai, you have a comment? For those just logging in now, we have Makai McCraven, Jeff Parker, Irvin Pierce, myself, and Theon Cross in the car on this tour. So you can ask questions, and I'll see the questions when they come up. We're talking about being a touring musician, but the first question on the Patreon page was, what do you think of the new musicians who are reaching fame on YouTube, like Cory Henry and Jacob Collier? And I think every person has their unique thing that they're doing, and there's an entire lifetime of career for each of these people to have, so we don't really know what they're going to do as far as their major works, but we know what's popular now, and some of it's really awesome. I think that Jacob Collier has a harmonic understanding that goes beyond a lot of musicians, especially his age. And Cory Henry is able to execute this synergy of church music and jazz, and with an incredible understanding of history, his knowledge of the McCoy Tyner vocabulary, bebop vocabulary. It's really powerful. So, you know, different people. There are also other people who have those same skill sets, and who are not as famous, but that's okay. I think it's easy for people to feel like jealousy, and that's where you see a lot of the trolling and a lot of the negativity that people have about different musicians of our generation that are making it really big. It tends to, like, everybody has this innate, this thing inside of us as human beings that want us to be like better than other people. So when we see other people being successful, then it's easy for us to judge them. But I think that people are successful for a reason, and it's because A, maybe they have an extraordinary skill set that people recognize, but B, maybe they just have something that culturally resonates. And that's what you see with pop music, especially. If somebody resonates with the current culture, then it's then they'll become popular. But you see that in jazz music too. There are specific things that are culturally relevant right now in jazz music and in I mean, in all music, really, that makes it easier for certain people to become popular. And that's okay. I think the thing for us to remember is everybody has their unique voice, and for us each to manifest our unique voice, because in the context of all the things that are becoming popular, the ones that are actually popular, that keep growing, are the ones that have their own unique thing worked out. So, anybody have any particular questions on that, or anything for Theon or Micaiah or Jeff or Irvin?
Hi guys.
Micaiah says hi guys. Whoop. Drop the phone. Hey Micaiah. Micaiah, do you have any thoughts or words of wisdom you want to share with anybody?
In a minute.
Okay. I'll go back to the questions on the Patreon page. Or can you unlock that for me? I think the reception's also causing these messages to be delayed. I can't really see any of the people who have said anything yet. We have 10 people logged in, so that's cool. Alright, so I can't talk about a car and don't have a piano. Sorry, Sam. Yeah, I can't answer the technical questions. Hey, Rachel, I see you there. But if anybody has any specific questions about being a touring musician and or the perspective of professional musicians, I'll tell you what we're doing right now. We're on a week-long tour. We have about... Oh, here's an interesting question, and it looks like that's in Russian, so I can't read the name, but I can read your, I could read the question, which was something like, how do you get your first gig, basically. So I think that comes from the perspective of somebody who's trying to become a professional musician. And I can say that my first gigs were playing in restaurants or in little bars in my local scene. When I got back from college, I reached out to some of the people that I knew who were just in the scene. Hey Jeff, you want? It's a question from somebody in Russia. But I can't read his name.
My first gig was playing a fanfare on the trombone for a debutante's ball when I was a junior in high school. And they paid me $50. My mom asked me to do it.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Playing a fanfare on a trombone for a debutante ball.
Yeah.
When you were in high school.
Yeah.
Cool. Did that lead to any other gigs, or was that?
No. That was the first time.
It was a one-off.
That was the first time I got paid to play music. After that, I played like in the musical and like the school play, and I got a little bit of money for that.
Okay. Cool. So, basic. I mean, I guess what Jeff is saying is we all do basic things at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, mostly, gigs come from being social and, being in a community.
I agree with that. Finding people to play with, finding community, building relationships with other musicians, it's important to have music to play too, and then know what you want to play, and then if you're really trying to get gigs for yourself as an artist or for your project, you're just gonna have to write music, play music, sound good, and then have some sort of presentation that you can go and solicit work from places that have music, and then be willing to accept lots of rejection.
Yeah. Your first gig was originally with like Cold Duck?
My first kind of professional gigs, I'm probably playing like with my high school band, backing up like my mom for like private party of friends. But then
So it came from your close-knit community.
Close-knit community.
Bringing from your mom. Actually, my first one was with my dad too. So that's an interesting similarity.
All three, yeah.
But then, like, you know, the band got some more gigs, you know, with her. But through that, you know, once we knew that we had a band, we ended up getting a gig from a friend who wanted a band for a party, and we did that, and it turned out to be this really cool thing, and everybody had such an amazing time that was like what kickstarted us having any sort of small following, which came from our direct community first, and we were able to use that direct community to help us get more gigs, so that you can, like, you know, more supporters as you go, that, you know, start from your inner circles and your community, then it touches like a local community and can, you know, expand from there. And as, you know, as you're able to like draw people or have community, then every time you do a gig, you meet more people who might have opportunities for somebody to play. Or if you approach any sort of venue that you might want to play, one of the first questions they're going to ask you is not about your music, but is how many people are you going to bring? And so, you know, a combination of like having good music and so that you can, and presenting it, you can build a, you know, a core group of people that supports you and help you grow.
That's good. That's thing. So, for those of you who don't know, that's Makai McCraven, and we're on tour right now. Whoops. We're on tour right now in Tennessee, and so he's saying a similar thing to what I feel, and what Jeff explained was that it starts organically and it starts with your close network. And your gigs grow along with your community. So you start out with your parents if they play music, but if your parents don't play music, then it's your friends. Maybe your friends you meet in your high school band, or earlier, just people that you play with when you're younger. As you develop yourself and you work on your playing, you work on your compositions, and you work on your own band, hopefully your own sound, and you'll do gigs for other people in your community, and people will hear about what you do through that. Hey, Irving, could you log on could you go to the Weekly Piano YouTube page and just pull up the chat? Because I can't see the all the old messages. If you go to youtube.com/weeklypiano. Sorry, Rachel, I'm not wearing my seatbelt. It's okay. I'll wear it after the live stream's done. So there was another question that I don't remember what it is, but we're gonna. Okay, we can't quite get there. All right, we're gonna look at these other questions, but I did see one about. Well, actually, you know what? This would be also an interesting one for Theon. Theon, I'm curious. Like when people don't have a gig yet, where do they look to get their first one? Jeff told his story, Micaiah told his story. I'm curious about your story, about where you got your first performance opportunity.
So my first performance.
What's the speaker?
Okay.
This is Theon Cross from Shabaka, and Sons of Kemet. Shabaka. And Theon Cross. You can check out his music as well.
Yeah, Fire out now.
Yeah, I believe are you releasing an album soon, or you just released it?
It's already out on Gearbox Records. It's entitled Fire.
Great.
FYAH. So my first gig would have been in a very small pub in Brixton where they were putting on live events on the area from young people. And for me, it happened quite naturally. There was just a regular night on a Sunday where you could literally come and perform your own music for about, and basically make money from whatever people tips you with. You know, if you filled it out, you make like 50 quid or something. And if you didn't, not very much. But from there, it was a good opportunity for people to come and see what I was up to. And then from there, people would turn up and then invite me to do something larger. So for your first gig, I suppose it's just best to start small in intimate spaces where you feel relaxed, and you feel like you can have the freedom to be creative with your music. So low pressure, small gigs are the way to start, I think.
Nice. Thank you. That's Theon Cross. You can look him up. Oh, here's one. I live playing jazz piano. Oh, so someone's asking now about being in New York in a very congested market and getting gigs there. That I know that's a specifically challenging one. But also I want to. We have a younger musician in the car. Irvin, how old are you?
I'm 24.
We have.
Hello, everybody.
Irvin Pierce. 24 years old, and so he'll have a more recent perspective about the landscape of getting his first gig. Do you want to answer this one while I go? We're at a rest stop right now. I'm gonna go get a water and go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Do you want to take this over for a minute?
Explaining my first gig.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Cool. Yeah. So my first gig was. We're back. Hello, everybody. My name is Irvin Pierce. I'm a saxophonist from Chicago, Illinois, here on the road with Micaiah McCraven. Great privilege and pleasure and honor to be playing with him and these cats on the tour. My first professional gig was a gig every Sunday from 5 to 9 p.m. on the south side of Chicago, percussionist and the band Crosswind. And yeah, I pretty much did that through high school. And we are back.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all? We're in Tennessee.
Let's see what's happening. Okay, so see your comments. Any questions? Thinking the mo. Seatbelts on. Have you ever done a cruise ship? I have never done a cruise ship. Neither do I believe Greg or any of the musicians here have done the cruise ship gig. I think, the best way to do a cruise ship gig is to look for different cruise ship opportunities. I would just do a basic start searching and looking for places to apply. I know they do auditions in different places, and you find a time where you can audition if there's a opening for different cruises, and you can get the gig, and then you have to sign a contract that will last a couple weeks, or to 4 to 6 weeks. That's renewable, and you go out and you do the gig and you learn the music. A lot of those gigs, they require you to read well, so you can learn music on the fly and learn the show. It's much more of like a show gig. But there's a variety of different bands and musicians on these cruises. And yes, New York is a very congested market. It's a market that takes a lot of competition, and it can be difficult socially. But the best advice is to just be persistent, have tough skin, and practice a lot. excuse me, practice, practice, practice. Know lots of music, know lots of tunes. Be willing to play with lots of people in a lot of different situations. Have the humility to learn in a variety of situations.
Yes, humility to learn in a variety of situations. That's something I wish I had been a little bit more open with, actually, when I was in Chicago. There were some gigs I turned down that, in retrospect, I should have just taken, even though they paid shit and they were like weird and strenuous. I could have learned more than I did when I still learned a lot, but I think we have opportunities to become even more adept as musicians that we don't always take because we feel like we're maybe above them or that we don't need them, when in reality, when we're coming up, we should be taking everything that we can get. The soundtrack of America made in Tennessee. That is kind of funny. All right, we're gonna get back in the car here. And is that all right? Just move that. Boom. Boom. Irvin, is your phone working for the? Is it able to see the YouTube page now, so we can see some of these questions? Here we are. Beautiful. All right. So this should show me live right now. I don't know why it isn't showing it. Here we are, live now. Being a touring musician. I'm logging on to see what the actual questions are here, because there are a few questions that I missed. Well, bro, you watch a lot of workout videos. All right, I actually can't see the previous questions, and this YouTube interface for mobile isn't that good. Okay, there's one. How do you sustain relationships with friends and family as a touring musician? Woo, that's a good one. Micaiah has a wife and two children.
No friends.
And broken families. No, it's possible, but it's more challenging than people who work a day job. You're not coming home at night. For me, I haven't figured it out yet to turn into a marriage. It was we were engaged and it totally fell apart. So I wasn't able to do it. I'm probably not the best person to answer that question. So let's start with the lowest rung on that ladder. Irv, you got a girlfriend, right?
I got a girl.
Want to tell us how you maintain that relationship while you're on the road?
Communication. I feel like communication is a great, important factor. Yeah. I'll leave it at that.
Communication is key.
Communication, effort, dedication.
Yeah.
Those things, go a long way.
Yeah. I think the general feeling is you need to actually make an effort and know that that's a priority in your life to be able to maintain relationships while you're on the road as a touring musician. Most people can sort of fall into that just by the road. You know so many more people. You don't really know them. I mean, Micaiah and I, we live in different cities, but I'll call him just to say what's up and see how he's doing and talk about whatever it is that we're doing at the moment, because I want to maintain him as a friend. He's one of the few friends that I keep. And I don't do that for a lot of people also. It's hard to keep that as a as a constant in your life in too many ways, because as musicians we're also practicing, working on our business, we're putting. Let me see if they got about that question. Any other public thoughts? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I want to talk about maintaining relationships with your friends when you're on the road.
Yeah.
Give everybody space. Don't talk too much. And basically that. Because that can be really hard. You're traveling with somebody out of your element. And yeah, just kind of don't try and give people the space that they need. Be respectful of people's boundaries.
Yeah.
You know. Because when they ask the question, how do you maintain relationships with family and friends while you're on the road, that's immediately what I thought of, more than trying to like keep your shit home at home cool. Is more about how to keep it cool while you're on the road, because it's a strenuous lifestyle already to begin with. And a lot of, because I've toured a long time with a lot of musicians, and a lot of cats don't really get that, you know.
Yeah, people can get on each other's nerves.
Want to travel with people and stuff. So
yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, that's something that it can be a little deceptive.
Conducting master classes in
Oh, here's a good one. How do you find motivation to practice consistently?
Gigs. Like opportunities to perform.
All right, we're back to. I think you got some of that, but for that what you did not get, Micaiah, his advice is to critique your own sound, practice, get gigs that challenge you, and then you have to practice and you have to get better. You have to learn. For me, it's playing with peers. I always try to play with people who are better than me at one thing or another, whatever it is in the musical context. And when I do, I always it brings out my own insecurities, but it also reminds me of what I need to do better. And sometimes that pain of falling short at a gig where you can't really hang, it pushes you to put yourself to that next level when you go home. You might be kicking yourself a little bit after the gig, but then make a schedule for the next week saying, I want to attack this, and this to get better and reach the next level in my playing. So next time I'm in that situation, I can hang. That's the story of Miles when he was playing with Bird. He got up on stage every night and could play like half a chorus, and then went home and worked out another half every night until he could really hang in the bebop context. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, I think we're probably good for today. So to play on what Jeff said and give people space and don't pop them too much. We're gonna I'm gonna let these guys have their space and their peace. But just to recap on who these guys are, check each of them out. They're incredible musicians in their own right. Micaiah McCraven is the tour that we're on right now. You could check out his latest album, Universal Beings. Jeff Parker, Irvin Pierce, Theon Cross. with Shabaka. I don't know why I always forget the name, the specific name, but with Shabaka's group. Sons of Kemet. Sons of Kemet. The Sons of Kemet. I don't know why that I always. Well, Shabaka has a few different groups. There's the Ancestors and there's the Common is Coming, but then the Sons of Kemet is with Theon. It's a really cool group. And then my own music, which is, if you look up my real name, which I've been telling people lately, is Greg Spiro, and Spirit Fingers is my band. Yeah, look forward to